when you finish on the second place last year on the CCC, is this your favorite race?
I never really feel like I stopped training. So like I feel like I've been training for my 2025 season since forever ago.
Wait, did you just say that you saw a bear on the trails?
Yeah.
Really? Hello, Emily. Thank you that you responded. Thank you that you took your time to chat with me. Thank you that you're so unselfishly share your knowledge, share your experiences. Because when we check, you have lots of experiences and still so young. How did you decide? How did you stumble upon trail running?
Yeah, well,
share us your story.
Well, firstly, thank you so much for reaching out and asking me. Always nice to chat and chatting about experiences, and it's been a fun journey. So really appreciate being here. How did I find trail running? Well, I grew up on a farm in Zimbabwe and pretty much ran trails since I was really little. My mom ran, and so like in the evening stuff, we'd go for a little run around the farm. But obviously as kids, me and my brother, I think, would just follow along, play in the puddles, all those sort of things. But yeah, that's probably where it was born. And then went to boarding school at the age of 5, and we ran on trails too. Like all our cross country meets were on trails or on dirt roads. So kind of got that grounding base there. And then I found like trail running officially after college. I was doing triathlons, but I wasn't enjoying the bike portion, which is rough on triathlons because that's the longest portion. And then I met my coach now, Paul Lind, and he told me he trained some athletes and that his son ran in the mountains, and my heart just kind of jumped that would be a possibility. And so I asked if I could do that, and here we are.
I have a first question. In Zimbabwe, how old were you when you moved then to the States? You live in States now, right?
Yeah, I live in the States. I came over for college when I was 18. Yeah.
And in Zimbabwe, you have any mountains and hills to run and to train, or not really?
Not where I live, but in different parts of the country, yes.
You do also. Okay. So first, I check Western states. You went the last 4 years. You went 4 times in a row. You made a double. That means you went on the Western states and on UTMB. And what is even more amazing than this, that you were each time between top 10, actually even better than that. 2021 on UTMB, you were 10th. A year later, you were 6th. A year later, so 23, you went on CCC, so on the 100 kilometers, and you went 2nd. So you were on the podium. And this year, you were 6th. And here, we cannot miss your times, because in the 2021, you needed 28 hours and 46 minutes. A year later, 26 hours and 47 minutes. That means exactly 2 hours faster. And then this year, 24 hours and 58 minutes. So almost 2 hours faster again, which is crazy. So soon you're going to be finished in half an hour. And in Western states, it was a very similar story. In 2021, you went the first time and you were 7th. You need 19 hours, 13 minutes. A year later, you were 5th, 18 hours and 16 minutes. So you were 1 hour faster. A year later, in 2023, you were 5th with 17 hours, 26 minutes. And this year, you were 4th with 16 hours and 48 minutes, which is just amazing. That means in 3 years, you were almost like 3 hours, actually 2 hours and a half faster on the same race, on the same thing. How do you do that? Is it that you know yourself better, that you train more, that your nutrition is better, that you have more experiences? What do you think? How far that can go? When this progression is gonna stop?
Hopefully never. Actually, I know never, because every time you run I feel like you gain more experience and, like you said, get to know yourself better, get to know the courses better. Yeah, get to be able to eat better or different, just kind of figure things out. Yeah, there's lots of other factors too, like conditions of the course, of the trails, the weather, like temperature and all that. Yeah, so it's been really exciting to kind of see it all across both races, you know, from really hot temperatures to really cold temperatures on both courses, and then to, yeah, to kind of get the experience of being out there 4 years and just learning about that tree and that little creek crossing, and staying warm at night and staying cool during the day. So definitely, yeah, lots of time, and just kind of really taking the time to absorb all I can at each one. So hopefully that helps me moving forward too. And really, yeah, kind of like this is really helpful too, like doing a little debrief type thing after an event, just to kind of work through things in your head and see what you did right, what you did wrong, or what went well, what you struggled with, and maybe like look back and think like, okay, if I did this next year, what could I do to improve?
If you could take me, that I would be inside your head 1 week before Western States, what would I hear? What would I see? How was the last week going on?
Yeah,
Were you nervous?
yeah, Western States is really special because that's my home course. You know, I live 20 minutes from the finish line, and now with 4 years, like I have a lot of stories from it and a lot of connection to the trail as well as to the trail community. And so I'm the week before, I just suddenly get really excited, like excited for another year of making those memories and kind of sharing time with competitors out there, as well as like having teammates and friends like come pretty much like home to experience like the trails I get to run on and race on. And then, yeah, get excited about thinking about who's going to be at every aid station. Not only like my crew and my family who comes out to support, but the people from my community who I know are volunteering at certain aid stations. And that's kind of fun because it like keeps you engaged and keeps you excited. Like, oh, I'm gonna see Kim at the next aid station. I'm gonna, see Scott at the next one, and then you just kind of can stay in the moment too, and that's always really fun. So, but yeah, that week before, I'm really trying to focus on that stuff because you at the point where all the work is done, you just have to get excited about what you're about to do.
Do you give yourself before the race, before the start, any goals for the race? And if you do, what kind of goals you give yourselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely do give myself goals, and it kind of varies from year to year, and also having, just having the respect for the mountain and the conditions you're going to experience and your competitors. Like, some years it's time goals. So I have a time goal. I kind of like know like what the conditions going to be like and maybe what I could do. But always with kind of the grace period of like, but if it changes, if it's 120 degrees, like it's not going to be as quick. You just like naturally have to slow down so that your body can go feel strong at the end too. Yeah, sometimes it's just like mindset goals, like I was saying, kind of staying in the moment and giving yourself little other things to think about, not to take yourself out of the race, but not to get too worried about where you're at in the race and yeah, like stress yourself out because you don't need any more stress on a big day like that. Yeah, what other goals? Yeah, sometimes just like little things like nutrition, like, okay, I'm going to take in something every 30 minutes, or I'm going to make sure I drink 1 liter of water by every aid station. So little things like that, just to, yeah, kind of make it exciting, make it something that you can work towards in other ways than just giving yourself like a position at the end that you want to be at, because there's so many factors out of your control. So it's nice to have things that are really possible.
One question just popped into my head. You said that you live 20 minutes away from the finish line. Did you ever, for fun, for training, run the course the opposite side, the opposite direction?
I didn't, but in 2021, after COVID year, Canyons is on the same course. But the year I ran it, it was backwards. I mean, it's not identical, but a lot of it is the same. And the year I ran it, they ran it backwards, so pretty much on the finish backwards. But that's the only experience I've had running it backwards.
And how many times? Okay, 4 times you ran the official race.
Mhm.
Do you also run and train on the course itself when you live so close, or not really?
Yep, yeah, no, I definitely do. The first 30 miles or so are pretty much closed for a lot of the season because it's up high, so it's buried under snow. So there's, I mean, you could go up there, but you'd just be running through snow. Yeah, so a lot of that section of the course I don't get on, but for the rest of it, I do train out there a bunch, and yeah, get to know, like I said, the rocks and the trees.
So actually, you know the course inside out.
I do.
Every rock, every tree, everything, you know. The
Yep.
river. Which is your favorite part from Western States? Where you enjoy the most, or is it each year a bit different?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not like about the enjoyment of it. Maybe for me, it's about like where my like special memories are made or have been made over the years. My favorite part is definitely through El Dorado Canyon and up to Michigan Bluff. You haven't seen your crew for a long time, and so getting to Michigan Bluff is always like really exciting. And then I've just had some really special time that I've spent in that canyon, kind of running back and forth and seeing bears out there. And I did a long, super long, like midnight run one year when I was trying to train for UTMB, so that was really cool. Yeah, and then each year, kind of every section changes about like when you feel your best, and yeah, it's special moments from different sections. Like that section this year actually was like a really cool section too, because I got to run with my teammate Petter Engold. We were running together, and we got to do that whole section together until the bottom of the canyon. Then he climbed really strong out, so that was like really cool to share that.
Very cool. Wait, did you just say that you saw a bear on the trails?
Yeah.
Really? Like, how close was the bear?
uh,
Like grizzly or what?
yeah, like 100 meters away. He wasn't very far. Like, no,
Okay.
closer than that, but he was fine. And he was just like running ahead on the trail, and then he just dashed down into the trees.
And you did not get scared. You just ran. And
Yeah,
interesting. Do you ever?
it was nice. It was the middle of the day, so it wasn't too nerve wracking. And he was running away from me, so
Okay. And did you maybe just like take the phone out and try to make a film, or it happens too fast?
it happened too quick. Yeah, he was kind of there. He ran along the trail ahead of me. I think I did actually take my phone out because I was like, oh, well, I mean, if he's sticking around, I'll try and get a video. But yeah, he was like a little too far ahead to catch him between the corners.
Do you also train at night on Western states, or after you saw the bear, not anymore?
For Western states, I don't really train at night because I mean, for the start, you don't need your headlamp; it's light enough. And then I'm like have a goal of trying to finish without my headlamp.
You're
So
fast enough.
yeah, but then I do a bunch of training, and well, I don't really actually, but for UTMB, some of it is at night, and it just happened that I didn't like get done with the stuff I had to do during the day until late at night, and I had a long run to do, so I think I started like as it was getting dark, and then I finished at like 11 or midnight.
Okay. One difference between Western states and UTMB is also that in Western states you can have a pacer. Do you have like each year same pacers, or you change, or how do you decide who's gonna pace you, and how many different you have?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think paces are like amazing. But it very, as you can see, like, Katie didn't use a pacer this year. So it's a very personal thing, and really taking the time to discover like who the right people are to have on the trail with you, who you want to share it with, like that sort of thing. And I like over 4 years, I'm still figuring little things out, and I have had the same pacer for 3 out of the 4 years for the first section. Oh yeah, for the first. Did I? Oh, 2 years. 2 years. 2 years I've had the same pacer. Otherwise my paces have changed. Sometimes just the sections they do changes, because you feel better earlier on normally and you feel terrible for the last 20, so you have to decide who you want where. And like how open and honest you can be with everyone, and then trying to decide, remember that they want to help you, but also telling them exactly what you need. If you need someone to chat with you the whole time and you feel like that's going to be good, or you're someone like me who feels like you have to respond all the time, maybe you don't want them to chat to you all the time, just so that you're not constantly talking. Yeah, paces are really cool. I love being out there on my own. So actually at points I've had times of like, do I really want to have a pacer? But they bring so much value into a race like Western States. And when you are really tired, and you can, kind of hand over the reins to someone else and just like go, yeah, get out of your own head and just be like, if they tell you to go faster, then you just run faster. You're like, okay, it doesn't matter how I'm feeling, they told me to run faster, so I gotta do it.
Do you give a pre-race? Do you give any tasks for the pacers, or however they want? They can do whatever they want. How
Yeah.
is the plan?
Yeah, it's been really cool. Like, for most of the years I've had paces that don't know the course a ton, or paces that know the course but haven't been in the race before, and so kind of like either giving them really detailed instructions like, hey, when we get to this corner, I want you to remind me that I have 2 miles really flat speedy trails, like let's really work that section, or those sort of things, or like remind me to eat. Those things have been common. And then but this year I got to have my friend Cody Lind pace me, and he's raced Western States before and been around the race since he was a little kid. So he has a lot of knowledge and experience. And I think I was most excited for that section with him because of like the connection to the trail he has too. And then also just his experience. Like he's been in the race feeling all the things I was feeling that day. And so he knew like what to say and how to keep me engaged and encouraged and like working hard to try and achieve my best for the day. So that was really cool, and I really see the value in that, having someone who knows not only the course but has like actually been in the same race and run 100 miles and knows like what you're feeling at that point.
Yeah, I guess this is very important, because otherwise, if he or she, or the one who is the pacer, otherwise it seems like they are smart ass. But if you know that they know how much you suffer, how you feel, then it's much easier to get their encouragement, of course.
Yeah.
Do you use headphones or no on Western States?
At Western States I don't. Have I? Actually, maybe did I? No, I don't. I don't think
No.
I did. Yeah, no, I don't usually at Western States, but at UTMB I do.
Okay. And for Western States, what is in your pack or in your belt on the start? So actually, what do you then eat? How many calories per hour do you put in, if you know? How much water you drink, or if you drink isotonic drink, if you drink Coca-Cola? How is your nutrition plan during Western States?
Well,
And if it, or maybe if it's changed in the
yeah,
last 4 years.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Every year has been different, actually. So this year, I ran with the Nevasecond gels. They were really good, and I tried to get in 3 an hour, and managed to. So that was awesome. So I think it was like 90 grams of carbs an hour, and then I also drank the Tailwind recovery nutrition drink. So I was taking that in, ate bananas at every aid station. And I started with that in my pack. And I try and keep, well, for Western States, which was nice this year, I could kind of keep the same nutrition plan the whole way through. I didn't need to change too much.
Do your gels have a flavor or you have it unflavored?
Yeah, the Never Second gels have flavors, but I only use like 3 or 4 different flavors.
No, that's already okay. How tall are you and how much you weight?
I am 174 centimeters tall, and how heavy am I? Like, do I even know? I'm like 122
Around
pounds. Whatever.
how many pounds? Approximately.
122 pounds.
So around 60 kilos, a little bit less, 57, 58 kilos. Okay.
Yeah.
That we know because, if you eat 90 grams of opal, 90 grams of carbs that we know, your secret.
Yeah.
How much fuel we need. No,
Yep.
just joking.
No, it's true.
So for now, second, but for the drinks, okay, you said the recovery drink. Do you also drink water or all the time the recovery drink?
No, and water too.
Also water.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And like 1 liter between each aid station or
with Western States, it's kind of as soon as you can get water, you want to be taking it in. So I have no idea.
okay.
Yeah.
So you're not thirsty. You don't get cramps.
No.
So
I
also
do.
sorry?
I take a salt tablets, or there's also
You do.
sodium in the gels, which really helps.
Wait 1 second. Okay. And now we go to UTMB. There on UTMB, mostly it's not so hot. Someone could argue about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Till this year.
yeah, you need much more gear.
Yeah.
You cannot have pacers, so it's much more lonelier. Or actually, there is lots of you on the course. Which race are you looking forward that you wanna do? Do you rather do Western States or UTMB, or it's like so different that you just enjoy that you can go to run?
Yeah, they're so different in so many ways. So I love both of them for their own reasons.
Which one is harder? Which one is tougher? Where do you suffer more?
I think they're the same. The same thing is that like Western States is a different. You suffer differently at Western States than you do at UTMB.
Western States is much faster. You can also run faster.
Yeah, you can run faster and you're not out there as long, which I think makes a difference. So UTMB, you probably suffer more just because you're out there so much longer.
On UTMB, because you need like 1 day, like 24, or actually last year, 24 hours and 58 minutes. How about caffeine pills or caffeine gels? Do you take them or no?
Yeah, I have some gels that I take, and I think I was kind of trying to take in 1 caffeinated gel every hour. I'm not sure if I nailed that or not. And then I love the like cold coffees. So I have them at the aid station. Sometimes I drink them, sometimes I don't, but I know they have caffeine in them too.
Do you know in these caffeine gels how much milligrams of caffeine is inside?
I'm looking around my van right now if I have one.
Okay, check if you find one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I could look it up. Here, I can look at my computer quick. Let's see.
And you don't get, your stomach doesn't get upset when you take caffeine gels.
Yeah, so that's also been a really good thing to learn, because my stomach works really well with 75 milligrams of caffeine per gel.
75, okay.
My stomach works really well when I like drink coffee or drink a Red Bull or taking a bunch of caffeine. So and then I just need the bathroom right away. So that's been a big thing to work with. So the Never Second gels, like they have coffee flavored gels as well as cola gel, like caffeinated gel, and I've purposely stayed away from the coffee flavored one just because of that factor. Not that there's actually any difference between how much caffeine's in each one, but I found that the cola doesn't make me need the bathroom right away, whereas the coffee one does.
When you go to run UTMB in the end of August, or actually beginning of September, when do you come to Chamonix? How much before?
Yeah, it's been really amazing. Terex has made it possible for us to be there pretty much if we wanted to, beginning of July or so. But I tend to come at the beginning of August and spend 3 weeks before the race there.
Yeah, also with Team Terex is really nice because you make lots of really good videos and you share it on YouTube. They're really amazing. I think this year Team Terex and also last year you made amazing videos. I've also bought myself a Gravik Speed Ultra and the shoes are just amazing. I bet I am like 10% faster just because of the shoe. It really is a good shoe. I love this shoe. I would love to that there would be more colors to choose, but it's mostly anyways just one, or then maybe next year is gonna be second one, so have to buy the new ones. Are you running also in a Gravik Speed Ultra, or are you running already in some prototypes?
Yeah, so I only found this out when I came to Chamonix because we have a Adidas Terex store now in Chamonix, and they have blue ones. They have blue Agravix Speed Ultras.
I saw.
They're really cool. I love them too. But yes, I'm really glad you love them, and I love that shoe too. It's become my shoe so far. Have I been running in any? We've been already talking about the next shoe. So just more conversation than actually running in prototypes right now. But that could change at any point.
Of course. Okay, so let's stay now on the UTMB. Is it now because you ran it 4 times, or actually once was CCC? Is it now easier for you because you know and you have so many experiences, or you just push yourself so much more that's actually not easier at all? That's actually maybe even harder.
Yeah, I think a mix of both, and also, like I always say, when it's your first one, it's like it can be easier and it can be harder too. You obviously have no idea what you're going in for, but when you do know what you're going in for, like sometimes it can be harder because you know the lows that you might hit, or how cold it might get, or how your stomach might feel at some point. So sometimes it can be harder going in with a bunch of knowledge, but I've definitely found it to be not easier, but just like I can be more prepared going in with the knowledge. But this year too, like it was just completely different with the humidity. So I'm used to being super prepared for the cold and maybe not as prepared for the heat. And this year I had to kind of switch gears. So next year I'll be prepared for both.
Is the nutrition for UTMB any different than than for the Western states, or it's the same calories, the same gels?
Yeah, that's a great question too. It changes again every year, but at Western or at UTMB, usually with it being colder, you can eat a lot of like different food, a lot of real food. I just find it easier to get that in when it's cold compared to when it's really hot. So this year it changed a little bit. Like I didn't feel like I wanted to eat what my real food options I had at the aid stations. But yeah, you're not running as fast for continuously as you are at states as at UTMB, so you can potentially take in some more calories or different calories. Yeah, everything was kind of a little different this last year, but usually, like, I got to the point my first year running UTMB where I told my crew I just wanted a donut. And so those have always been options, where at states I've tried to have that as an option and I have never eaten a donut. And this year I think I had one bite of my donut at UTMB and I took it out of my mouth too, so I didn't eat that. Yeah, I over both And that's, I mean, I think that's just the biggest thing in trail running is trying to figure out your nutrition. And once someone tells you they have it nailed, I bet them it changes the next race they do.
The next year is going to be totally different again.
Yeah.
I heard in one of your interviews that on UTMB this year, on one of the aid station, you met Courtney, and she told you, "Girl, just puke. It's okay." And then, how many times did you puke?
Oh, like 7 times. I got it all. Whatever. I just came through the aid station. I ate really well in the aid station. I felt good, and came through the aid station, ate really well, and then was leaving and just suddenly didn't feel very good. And yeah, Colt was standing there like cheering us on. She's amazing, and she could tell that I like that's all I wanted to do was just throw up. But there were so many people, my teammates are all out there, and she's like, just throw up. So I just like walked to the edge and just threw up a bunch.
How important is for you that, like, you see on, especially on the UTMB, because it's not a home race, that you see your teammates, because you can see, you can feel on your YouTube videos that you create that you really are like a family, that you really cheer for each other, you really so unselfishly share the love and support. And how is this? I think I'm not there. I don't know the other teams, but this is what I see on YouTube. I can say that Team Terex is really, really good. If I could choose, if I would be such a good trail runner, I would choose Team Terex if I could. Just because how you show you yourself and your teammates. How is this feeling when you come, for example, in Chamonix, in the hut where everybody is in? Do you play some games, or do you sleep all together in this house? Do you play some games? You go around together? How does this look?
Yeah, I mean, it like fills my heart to hear you say all that about the team, because it's so true. Like, it's such a special group of people, and yeah, we just all come together, and it's been really amazing to see how everyone has supported each other. And we know, like, at our true core, like, if one person succeeds, then the team succeeds. And that's a really special place to be, to support each other and encourage each other to, be there for each other, and like through the highs and through the lows. And that's been special over the few years to see how the team has come together, and how we can support each other, and like making sure that we do that in the future and continue to build each other up, and encourage each other and help in any way we can. Yeah, I mean, so constantly 365 days a year, I'm pretty sure my phone blows up with a message from the team because someone's racing or someone's doing something awesome, or there's something to plan. And we're all engaged in that process. We were talking about prototypes earlier. We all give input into prototypes, not only like all the same shoe, but like, a sports bra or a crop top, or a shoe or a sock or something. There's so many teams working at different times, all involved in that process. And so the team builds the team from the ground up. I mean, we couldn't run without our gear, so that's really cool to see everyone involved in that process. And then all the way to, we have a bunch of people racing in Turkey this weekend, and they're all there right now. And so we'll be on our phones this weekend tracking and then supporting each other, all being updated, which is really special. And yeah, that love that we hopefully, like you said, show in our YouTube videos is what it is like on a daily basis. And then Chamonix is really a special place to us because Terex does make it possible for us to be there early, 3 or more weeks before. And we get a house or a couple, depending on how many people there are. And then we all live in the house. Everyone has their own schedule because we all have different coaches. So we don't like organize runs together, but at dinner, someone will say, "Hey, I have a speed workout tomorrow. Does anyone want to join me?" Or, "I'm going for an easy run. Does anyone want to join?" And people will like partner up or team up and go do those together. We come in, really early and make food, and we kind of all do that individually. Everyone has their own diets and stuff, but generally you're not sitting at the table on your own. There's 3 or 4 other athletes sitting with you, or tea in the morning, or when you're doing your stretches out in the living room, you know, someone else is there to share it with. And that time I think is all special. So yeah, there's not a lot of like organized team time. I mean, we do have team camp once a year. And this is only the 2nd year we've actually all managed to come together. We've been separating it for a couple of years because with COVID, we couldn't travel. You know, US-based athletes couldn't travel to Europe and vice versa. And so that's kind of the only organized time we have team time. But when we come together in any form, I feel like we all kind of just slide into doing life together. And a lot of us, you know, are coaches, so we know what it's like to sit at a table on a computer and plan workouts together and those sort of things.
How did you join Team Terex? How does this look like? If you bring us to the day, to the moment, did they contact you? How does this happen?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, it's such a unique thing for everyone. So everyone has different ways they get onto the team if they know someone. Or I had Robert reach out to me. I think he emailed me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he emailed me. Trying to remember. And we set up a call and we had a big chat about what I was looking for and what the team was based on and values and all of that. And I mean, I told Rob that all I really wanted from a team was a real team, not just a bunch of humans that wear the same uniform, and then a pair of shoes that I could race in. And so I know he sent me, what did he send me? Like 15 pairs of different shoes to try. And I put them all on the back of my car one day and ran a mile in each pair of shoes until I found the one that I knew I could like make work. And yeah, and then we jumped on another call and I signed.
Very nice. Did you also travel already? I bet you did, in the headquarters in Germany, because the building is just amazing.
Yeah, the building is. I actually, the first time I went there, because I signed during COVID, the first time I went there was last year at Team Camp.
Uh-huh. Nice, very nice. And how does this look like? Of course, you cannot tell the numbers, but this is what, if you are like then the pro athlete, you signed how much, I don't know, money they pay you per year or monthly, or did they tell you which races you have to race? Okay, you also get, of course, the shoes and the gear and everything, but how does this look approximately? I don't know what you can tell us, but how does this look like?
Yeah, so Terex is amazing. They will give the athlete what they always say, the best for the athlete, and that comes down to, gear and making sure that the athlete is supported in the way that helps us to perform at our best. So yeah, Terex, it kind of varies from person to person, but yeah, Terex support, will give you all the gear you need. We'll support, like, if you need to do PT or those sort of things. Travel makes it possible for we have travel budgets, and we have bonuses that we can achieve throughout the year. So that's kind of cool because it's not just giving us money; it makes us work for it and perform, which is kind of fun. We do have, we do get a salary, which is good. So yeah, each year get paid, and then yeah, just like at events and stuff, like specifically. So we do have a list of races that the team supports. So we'll have support there, and more of the team are generally going to be there just because it is a team race. There's better bonuses there for us, that sort of thing. And it's kind of fun because we get to go travel and live with our team again for another week and another race. And the team covers that travel and all of that, which is really cool. Race entries and stuff like that really, makes it possible to get out there and give our best, accommodation and support with our physio, and
Do you ever pinch yourself and you not ask yourself, and you like think about it actually, that you always maybe wanted to have life like this? Do you any moment in your day do you maybe get this Whoa, I live my dream life.
Yeah, quite a few times. I really feel super blessed to be the fact that I get my passion gets to be my job in my life is really, really special, and I don't take it for granted. It's really
Because we can,
sit and think
we,
about it. I never dreamt of being here, and so it's really cool. Yeah, I definitely have to pinch myself that this is real.
yeah, because we can see already when we just watch you over YouTube or something, we can see how fulfilled person you are, how happy you are. That means that you really live your life, and this is always so nice to see. And not just so nice to see, it's also so inspiring. It's really inspiring for lots of people, because I believe that you inspire many, many, many more people than actually you think that you inspire. Because it's really, maybe you just think, I train, I go to run, okay, I have to do this and that. But actually, us followers who follow you and follow Team Terex, it's really often I actually go myself running on my training just like a minute after I finish watching a YouTube video. Even though if I didn't feel like it before, it fills me up and I just go. And
Oh,
this is like a really, really, really good.
oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. It's always nice.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
first to remember that too.
There's one question. You have on UTMB, and is UTMB and Western States your main focus also for next year, or are there also some other races? Because is it also for UTMB, if you're top 10, you get the golden ticket, same like Western States, or you don't need to qualify, I guess?
You don't need to qualify, but you need to get running stones
Okay.
to be able to race again for UTMB.
So it's not like on Western States, you were top 10, so you come next. So in UTMB, you still need running stones. So, interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah,
I thought at least if you're top 10, you could just come there and okay,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think you only need one, so it's not like you have to do a big race.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, at least something.
yeah.
But it has to be 100K or 100 miles.
No, not to get a stone.
It can be also the 20K one.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you just have to get a stone in any race, which kind
That
of
would be great.
encourages you to go to a different event.
Is any other race also so important to you, like Western States and UTMB? And if you're gonna go next year again on both, if you know already, tell us more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I have some races that I've kind of used as little stepping stones in training. There's a little local race out in California that I run each year called Salmon Falls. It's a 50K, and it's a fun one for me. But yeah, Western States and UTMB are always goal races, and just really paying attention, to the body at each point through the race. Like I never have it kind of set in stone. Like I'm gonna race it next year. I love the races, so I do love having them on the calendar each year. I've definitely already signed up for Western States, and yeah, I get to figure that out.
What about Hard Rock 100 or Leadville? What about those two?
Yeah, Leadville, I haven't really had on my radar I haven't really. But Hard Rock is definitely up there, and every time I race UTMB, or there's another 100-miler out here called I'm Tough, and those ones are qualifiers for Hard Rock, so I put my name in the lottery. I've been putting in for a few years, 5 years.
5 years and you were not picked yet.
Not yet.
Okay, so it's really hard to come. Everybody says it's so hard to come on Hard Rock. How many runners is there? Like 200 or 300?
I'm trying to.
It's similar than Western States, right?
I think so. I'm not actually sure. I'd have to go look.
What do you prefer more? Like 200 to 300 people or 2,000 to 3,000 people? What's more? What gives you more energy? What do you prefer on the start?
Yeah, on the start. Again, it's like so different and so unique in both ways. So like with the 200 to 300 people at Western States, I think it's really like condensed because it's and it's like really special to see, you know, like for Terex, we had 5 athletes racing and we had a crew of 50 people. So that was pretty special too, like seeing how connected everyone was, or how much like they poured into us, even though there was only a couple athletes out there. That was really special. And then at UTMB, I always talk about this moment of like when you stand on the start line and you look out and there's 10,000 people there, and everyone, it's cool because it's 10,000 people that all love our sport and love what we're about to do. And that is like super inspiring and like super cool. Each one is so amazing. I love it.
And the applause at the end and the song in Chamonix before the start has
Yeah.
to be already, when you watch over YouTube, it's magical. I wonder how it has to be when you're there.
Yeah, it's pretty magical in person. And yeah, as there's, you know, 2,500 of you taking off to run around the mountain, it's pretty incredible. And yeah, everyone's just so excited for this race.
For example, when you run UTMB, when you go this uphill, I won't know what's the name of the uphill, but there is lots of people and they make such a corridor. So actually you can almost not go through.
Yep.
How do you feel that time? Does it give you energy, or are you like scared that you want to fall? Because I really wonder how it is when you're in that moment there inside. What goes in your head around?
So this year it was the best. Like it was, they have went over and above this year. Like there was so many people. It was so loud. There was smoke machines. It was crazy. I mean, it's at night, you know, so I mean, but it's kind of cool because like as soon as you get out of them, it's silent. So it's really it's kind of like a big send off. 25K or 26K into your race already. It was really special. Not K's, miles. But yeah, it's so cool. Like so many people are just so excited for you. And I never worry about falling because I feel like if you fell, everyone would just pick you up. Everyone's so excited for you to be out there.
So cool. Tell me, I was always wondering, for you guys who are professional runners, when does your legs get hard? When does it start to burn? Does it even ever burn? Do you even feel the pain? Or when does it start? After 10K, after 20K, after 100K? When do you say to yourself, whoa, now I'm tired already?
Yeah, I think that changes for, each race, each section. I mean, at UTMB, it's kind of cool because you have this super fast or flat section to start with. And so, yeah, your legs can be burning early. But it's the same for everyone, elite or not. Yeah, everyone's legs kind of start to burn.
But what do you say to yourself that you keep pushing? Because majority just stops and we start walking. How can you still run when it burns so much? It's like, how? What do you say to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, like you said, like we said from the start, like getting to know yourself and knowing where your limit is and making sure you don't push yourself to the point where you're going to blow up, where you have to walk. Because I think that's the big thing in trail running. Like, yes, a lot of us will walk, a lot of us hiked a bunch of UTMB, but most of it wasn't because we had to hike UTMB. It was just like it was smarter to hike than run because we know that 10 hours down the line, you can't be running that again.
But do you regulate this do you check your heartbeat, or how do you know that you're gonna burn out? Did your heartbeat go over, I don't know, 180, or what's the alarm clock that you have to relax?
It's funny because so many people have asked me that recently. And I feel like for me, it's just like, oh, I just kind of know, from training. I mean, you do a speed workout, you have to sprint a 5K or something. You know that you can probably sprint a full 5K. But if you were told to go out at the same pace for a 100 miler, you would know that you couldn't make it 100 miles. So then you kind of just put your brakes on automatically. But yeah, like some people before UTMB told me, like, how do you not blow up your quads early on in the race? And I just said, like, you just don't. But I know there's a lot of like guys that just do. So I'm not sure if like
you just told us that we should train more, and that's it. That's so simple. We should run more.
And just get to know your body, like know how you handle things, you know, like know where your line is for running downhill before your quads can't actually work anymore, and just don't hit that mark.
Cool. I have to start running more.
Okay.
How many miles per year do you run? Does it differ every year? Is it each year more? How is this?
Yeah, I don't really pay attention. I mean, I'm kind of a low mileage athlete, so like 50 to 60 miles a week running. But that varies.
Yeah, that is very low. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's very low.
Now,
I'm joking. It's like 100K every week.
For elites, probably. But even right now, you know, I'm not doing very many miles. It's like between 30 and 40, maybe in a week. So, yeah. So it kind of varies, kind of averages out. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it changes each year too.
Did your season 24 already finish? Are you with your mind already in the season 25?
Yes, I just ran my last race last weekend, a 10K.
I saw it, and you won.
Thank you.
In
yes.
overall, also in front of all the men, right?
Yeah, well, there was
That's
a
very good.
road runner, and it was his first road race, and I had to try in all sense of the word to beat a road runner on the trails.
Wait, what pace did you have on 10K?
6:49 minute miles average.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it was fun.
And there was no elevation, or I guess.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we were on trails, so it was up, down, and.
It was also. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. When you gonna start training for the season 25? When do you start training for season 25? Like in October, in November, in January? And how does your training in the beginning differs from the training later on when you are already in the season? Are you in the beginning more intensive, lots of sprints, lots of uphills, building your engine, or is it pretty similar than during the season?
Yeah, those are great questions. I never really feel like I stopped training. So like I feel like I've been training for my 2025 season since forever ago. Yeah, I just have down periods and high training periods. So that's kind of how it varies. But kind of training all the time, which is fun, and like doing other activities that still count as training. And then, yeah, how does it vary throughout the year? It depends on what races I decide to jump in, whether it's a super fast race, like, okay, you're going to work on a bunch of speed, or if it's a super mountainous race, like doing a bunch of climbing, even just playing in the mountains a bunch just to get some vert in the legs, which kind of varies. But overall, like throughout the year, throughout the season, even my down seasons, I kind of have the same routine. It just kind of varies a little bit in terms of specificity. That word.
Very cool. How many shoes per year you change?
I need to
10, 20, 5.
I have no idea. I need to keep track of that.
But when you stop running in the shoes, do you still use them for the walk, or do you give them to someone? How is this? You have a brother, right? Not a sister.
Yeah, a brother. Yeah. Okay. We're different sizes. So I couldn't give them to him, but my mom, I give some to her. Yeah, like I just a couple weeks ago took a bunch of shoes and gear and then, to a donation point. So that was really nice, so that hopefully someone else can use them. I'm always excited when races or groups of people do like shoe drives, so we can give shoes and running in to other people, so they can hopefully use them. A couple times they have to get thrown in the bin, after a big race or something like that. Like they're not really useful to anyone else. So yeah.
And which is your favorite Adidas shoe? Is it a Gravik Speed Ultra or is it some other?
A Gravik Speed Ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you run Western States and UTMB in the
Yep.
same one? So pretty much always you run in a Gravik Speed Ultra.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, yeah, it is great. It is great with the carbon plate and with the rocker. They just made it. When I tried it in the shop, I put them on, and it's like I don't know how to walk. It was
Yeah.
such a strange feeling, and it's good because before I was watching reviews on YouTube, all the reviews they said that's amazing shoe. I didn't see not even one review that they would say something bad about. So okay, now I have to go to buy it, and then I saw okay the price. Fuck the prices. It was like a super shoe. But I said if so many people said it, and it has so many podiums on different trails, that okay, I'm gonna go and buy it. If I would not watch the videos and if I would not expect that I'm gonna feel strange in the shop when I'm gonna put them on, I would say, what is wrong with these people? How can you even walk in these shoes? I cannot even walk. But then I came on the trails. I love the shoe. It's just amazing. I don't know how they did that, but yeah, of course it's Adidas, so it's just amazing shoe. It's honestly amazing shoe.
It's cool to hear you also had that experience, because actually when I put on the first prototype, I mean, it didn't help. I had a concussion at the time, so I don't think my world was really straight anyways, but I straight away told them, like, I'm never going to be able to run in this shoe. I can't even, like, go on this trail right now. How am I going to run in it? And like you said, like, I love it. But yeah, just, it's definitely about, kind of the same way as like just learning the shoe and learning if it works for you, and how to use it best.
It was really interesting for me because I was watching about the shoe and they said that they figured out that most of the majority of the trail races are won on the downhills, not on the uphills, and they created the shoe for the downhill. And then the first time when I ran the downhill, I promise, honestly, just because of this shoe, I was faster. No, not just faster. I felt safer. I felt that I can run faster. And if I wouldn't do it myself, I wouldn't believe it. It's really so good. It's honestly, wow.
Yeah, I love that about the shoe. And yeah, like specifically the downhill, like you said, and once you get to know it and how it works and, jumping over stones and things like that and like dealing with the rocker is really cool. But I also feel like it makes you work harder. And that's been really cool too. So you go faster because you have to work harder to run faster, which is cool. Like, I love that it does that. It really propels you forward and like pushes you to work harder.
When you finish on the second place last year on the CCC, is this your favorite race or is some other race you prefer more?
Just because of the finish position.
Yeah, I was guessing, but
it's really special because my teammate Ingvild won that day, and there was actually only 2 girls in CCC from Adidas Terek, so it was really, really special to do that. I had passed 3rd place at the bottom of the final climb up to Flagere, and so that was really cool. And then to be running down the last 10K ready to tell our manager Rob that we could do it, like we didn't have to be afraid of only having 2 girls in the race. We could they could rely on us. Like, we did it. Got 1, 2. It was really, really amazing. So it definitely goes down as one of my favorites.
When you were so good, you're also so good on the 100 miles, but which one do you like more, 100K or 100 miles? Which one you enjoy more? If you could only choose now 100K or 100 miles for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
That's so hard. Might take me 10 minutes to respond to you because I can't think. For the rest of my life, I'm like thinking about all the options. I'm like, well, I could run a lot more 100Ks because it doesn't take as long to recover from 100K as it does a 100 miler. But for 100 miles, like you could still probably perform higher for longer because you don't have to keep your speed as high as you do for 100K. So like when you're 80, you could still be pretty high in 100
And
miles.
there will be no Western States and no hard rock.
If you didn't, I know if you only did 100Ks, exactly, all good points. Yeah, I don't, I think I'd have to say 100 milers.
100 milers. Very
Yeah.
good. Which race from all of those that you raced was the hardest for you, and why was the hardest? Where did you suffer the most?
Yeah, actually, my first 100 miler wasn't either of those races. I'm Tough, Idaho Mountain Ultra Trail Festival. 100 miles out in Idaho, and ended up being 107, I think, that year. Like, they didn't realize the course was going to be that much longer, and I didn't know that. And it was my first time ever passing, I think, the 64 or 62K mark. So I'd never run more than 100K before. So many new things, running through the night. Dealing with super hot day and then really, really cold night. The first time I'd ever have paces, and trying to, figure out those little things that come with that, like we talked about earlier. That was definitely my toughest race.
If you could give me a tip, my longest race up till now was 66 kilometers. What would be your tip for my first 100 miles?
Oh, for your first 100 miles? Know that...
Or should I go first 100K and then 100 miles?
Yeah.
But you said that you were also like 60 something and then you went to the 100 miles.
Yeah. So 100K to 100 miles. In both, like, you're going to have a lot of lows probably. But always remember, you can come out of your low. Like, you have time to feel better in 100K or 100 miles. Whereas in a 50K, sometimes you don't. Or you do have to, you could still feel terrible at the end if you started feeling terrible early, because it's not much, it's harder to fix things, like harder to give your stomach enough time to settle, those sort of things. And then, for your first 100K or first 100 miler, always remember it's your first one. So you can only have one first one, so you better enjoy it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a great tip. I never got such a good tip.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yep.
That's very nice. Do you know for yourself how much altitude do you run per year?
I don't. I know. I'd have to look. I know. I'm sure I have track of it somewhere, like Training Peaks.
But you use watch?
Yep.
Okay. Which watch do you use?
A Garmin Fenix.
Garmin?
Yep.
Very good. Me too. So
nice. Perfect.
So I don't need to change the watch. That's very good.
Yeah.
Do you have any cheat meals? Or like, is it your nutrition, your meals also during like everyday meals? Are they like healthy, balanced, or you just eat whatever you feel like it?
Definitely a mix of both. Definitely try to eat healthy, just because I love fresh food. I love fruit, salads, and good steak, potatoes, and everything. So I think naturally I just try and make it wholesome and full and healthy. But I don't have cheat anything, because I feel that all fuel is good fuel. And also I'm gonna feel better if I'm eating better. My runs are going to feel better, but making sure I get enough has been probably my biggest challenge, is like making sure I eat enough. I've noticed that the more I can eat, the better I feel before, during, and after trainings, which has been fun. But sometimes it does mean eating that, chocolate bar I have stashed in my fridge while I go and run to the grocery store to get real food. Just to make sure I can get some more calories in.
Yeah, very nice. How does your carb loading before, let's say, UTMB looks like?
I actually don't try to carb load. I try to keep my meals, because I am eating wholesome food anyways, and then trying to, get enough calories all year, not just during the racing season or on race week. I try not to change things, so I want to give my stomach the best chance for race day, and so the less I change, I feel like the better my body feels and the better my stomach does.
Very nice. Okay, so now I have only a few short questions, like trivia questions that you have to answer fast.
Okay.
So you don't need to, you're not allowed to think about
Okay.
the answer. And then I'm gonna let you go, that I don't take too much of your time. Okay, Emily, night run or day run?
Day run.
Downhill or uphill?
Downhill.
Pacer or no pacer?
Pacer.
Hunting or be hunted?
Hunting.
Intervals or long runs?
Intervals.
Mornings or evenings?
Mornings.
Mountains or seaside?
Mountains.
Sleep or food?
Sleep.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Meat or vegetables?
Meat.
Steam room or cold plunge?
Cold plunge.
Christmas or Halloween?
Christmas.
Horror movies or comedy?
Comedy.
Basketball or football?
Basketball.
Swimming or cycling?
Swimming.
Swimming. Okay. Thank you very much. It was really nice chatting with you.
Yeah,
I think I could chat with you for another like 5 hours. I already feel like I'm Team Terex.
Oh, yay. Good. I'm glad we can still get running. You know, it's a one team.
Yeah, exactly. I hardly wait that we can meet in live. So maybe I also come to Chamonix next year, but most probably just like a spectator, just to cheer you guys.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that's it. Do you have any last thoughts that you would want to share with us?
No, just my normal, like, respect the trails, respect the people, and enjoy every moment you can.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your day and see you around. Bye, Emily.
Bye.